that's a run all the way up here to get to the high ground, right? So by going down here, you take yourself out of combat on purpose, right? If your translocator is, let's say, here, right? You can then choose. I can either go here again, back at them, right? Or you can put it even closer if you want, depending on how risky you want to be, right? But here it's kind of covered. Or I can drop down to this health pack, or I can go to this health pack. Or I can go through here to that health pack and then continue over there. And you take yourself or if you're smart and you're like, okay, there's a fight that's going to happen on point right now. I'm behind the Widow. There's a fight that's going to happen on the point. I will attack the Widow. I will make the Widows rotate. I will translocate here. I didn't take any damage, so I can now fight. I can now fight over here, right? Because you didn't take any damage, right? So instead of translocating to the same spot every time, so they know where to go for you, right? That's one, not that bad, not that smart. And two, you want to position yourself with your translocator in a way so that you give yourself options. And I'll send you a VOD review that I did on myself. I highly recommend that what you should do is I can try to make an Ash video for you where I use my diamond account. I'll send you this one. I explain really well how to use Armor in this one and like all the fundamentals that you should use here with an example, because I looked for this VOD to show you live, but I can't because I didn't find it. I think I deleted it. But we'll use Rialto just as the example because Rialto is such a good map to do. I think I watched that video. Yeah, right. Then you should know this concept, right? If I position, for example, my translocator here, right? Hacking health pack. What health packs do we hack? We hack health packs that sabotage for the enemy team and benefit ours. Our team, not me. Our team, right? So where is the health pack spawn? Layers, health packs, right? So here I can hack that one. The enemy team will push this. They cannot use that. My team will normally fight sometimes here. Now we can use that, or through this rotation. This is mostly to fuck up for the enemy team, and I can use it. If I position myself on high grounds are good grounds. You can always drop from high ground, as I'm now explained with the Hanzo and with the Reaper and with all that good stuff. Every hero should ideally play high grounds, most of them at least, especially DPSs, because you can always drop from high ground, right? And high ground allows you to go into, okay, if there is an entire enemy team right here, right? A Rhine, a Break, a Kree, a Sen, right? All the stuff, right, is here in this red area, right? You cannot go like this without dying, right? If there's a Zenyatta at the bottom, if there's a Zenyatta like here, you cannot walk up to the Sen and kill him, right? But what you can do is you can go on the high ground above them and kill him, right? So high grounds gives you access to areas that you normally won't be allowed to play in, right? The same goes on second. If the enemy team is here, right? And he has all his teammates in front of him, right? Everything is in front of him, right? You cannot whoop without dying, right? Or at least without risking yourself getting killed, right? But you can go zip, and then there, right? Nothing stops you from doing that. And if you want to, then you can like, and at the same time, a lot of them they won't see you even. So you can either you can just peek him with your gun and shoot him, or you can shoot him, drop down, or you can drop down and shoot, right? Depending on the hero, right? Some heroes like an Ashe, for example, would just stay up here and shoot him, or peek him here and shoot him, right? A Sombra can drop translocator here, for example, right? Because I can now drop down here if I want to, shoot, back up, and I'm still active. I can now still go and bullet a Rhine. Or I can go over here and I can help a fight over here, or I can go over here and fight here, or I can drop to the health pack if I don't want to bother my healers, right? So here I have options. Instead of dropping it down here, where first it could get spotted, and two, I'm now stuck here. I have to either run through that door or this door, or wait for translocator to translocate it back up to high ground, right? So this way, I'd never take myself out of combat. I stay in combat, and I use high grounds to bullet them, right? The same goes if you position yourself here, right? And your team is defending here, or over here, or whatever. Or maybe they have a Hammond. You stay here, the Hammond flies past you, wanna slam, you hack him. He can't stop that. You're up top, and no one can. It's difficult to shoot you up here, so you can easily hack him, right? Make sense?
Yep.
Right. So you go here, you drop it down there. So if you relocate, it's safe, but you're not active, right? So that's the same with the positioning that we talked about. Safe versus active. You're super safe with a translocator. You will get to an area that they probably won't shoot you. You will get full health, but you lose activeness, right? So your team will lose damage. There will be less opportunities for you. So if somebody gets low while you're doing that rotation into the health bag, and until you go back up, well, then you won't capitalize. If you don't kill this Widowmaker right now, you won't capitalize on the damage. Like, you just damage her for no reason, right? You're not going to get anything out of it, right? On top of that, you gotta know that there is a time and place for everything as a Sombra player. Normally, we play for EMP when we play Sombra. We play for EMP and we play to hack targets that are valuable and hacked, right? Hammonds, as you said, Doomfists work really well to hack, right? Pharahs you can hack out of air, Divas and so on, Reinhardts and so on. But we normally play for EMP, meaning, for example, right now, you just lost one of your players. So right now, okay, I lost one of my players. So you can choose, will you be able to kill one of their players while your entire team is, for example, waiting in the spawn room? Maybe. And if you do, that's really great. Probably not. Can you farm ult charge on one of the tanks, like the Hammond or the Diva that plays alone? Yes, you don't need to kill them. They can get pocketed by their healers if they want to. But you can hack the Diva or the Hammond and just shoot at them. And they can't stop you from doing that, especially the Diva, right? With the shotguns, right?
Yeah.
So you gotta choose. Sometimes getting a kill is the right choice, right? For example, if your team right now engaged, they're pushing, meaning the enemy team is not focusing on you, they're focusing on your team. So then you can kill this Widow. If you think that you're able to, then you need to be able to get close to her, right? So right now you're gonna stay here because of the mine. So then you need to be able to get close to her so you can just mag her in the head. She stands completely still, so it shouldn't be a problem, right? Then you need to get closer, kill her, translocate, and if that translocate is down on the ground, like it just was, then you're out of the fight. You killed her, but you took yourself out of the fight, so it's a 5v5. Even though you got a kill, but because you left the fight with your translocator, the fight is probably going to be top left high ground, right? It's going to take you so long time to get back into the fight. It's going to be 4 or 5 seconds. That's a lot of time in Overwatch, right? So right now you're standing here doing not really anything, right? Right? And this is lost time. You could have used this time to build ult charge of a tank. You could have used this time to try to kill the Widow and just relocate, right?
Yeah.
You could have done a lot of this. You could have just ran up to her and fucking jumped out of stealth and clicked her in the head. Is this mine gonna kill you? No. You translocate. Is there a health pack down there anyway? Yes. Are you expecting to take damage? Probably, since you put your translocator there, right? So just push her. If you absolutely are gonna go for this kill, push her. Look, because you're out of fight, this guy could have died. Or should have died. He's under half health, in ball form. Your team is here, your Hog is there, your Mei is there. He should be dead. But you have been spending time doing absolutely nothing. So he is alive now. And now you're crouching. Now your Mei died. Now you're crouching. I expect that she helped with that. Right? She just runs away. You get hit by this. You shoot a little bit here. And you translocate. And you did practically no damage. And so on. Your Moira is now dead. Now you fight the Salmon a little bit. And so on, right? So not active, right? And because of this, now the Diva could have been demacked. Right? She's on the half now. And just burned her boosters. Right? So she should have been demacked, right? You dropped the translocator there. That's Diana. She should also have been dead. That's 3 kills already. Right? Now you're on the point, but now your team is dead, right? Now it's too late for you to fight. Because you've been taking yourself out of the fight all the time. Right? And now a Fat Shatter. That is not your doing. That is your teammate carrying you to victory. Right? A Widowmaker's up there, translocator in 1. Translocator ready, up, shoot, right? Use the translocator to sometimes we don't need it for safety. Right now, it's the middle of the team fight, right? We are for some reason still fighting this. So at that point, you gotta go and continue the fight, right? So now you need to use this to get to high ground faster, since you're stuck on low ground, right? And now you get pushed, right? And again, that high ground would have allowed you to play anywhere on this map, right? You could have killed the Widow and then run over here and then killed anybody down here, for example. Or played up here and hack people on the point, or play over on the same high ground and hack people down the point, and play on the high ground. right?
Yeah.
Which is a good position
Fair
for you,
point.
right? And this is your problem, that you're not doing anything in your fights. That's the big problem. No matter like how, you know, decent your accuracy is, and now you're active with your mouse because now you know they have wall hacks on you. No matter how active you are with your mice, right? With your aim, it doesn't really matter that much for you, right? Because you can't use your aim if you can't shoot them, right? Same as here. Why are you not dealing damage right now? Why are you not trading hits with them? You're just hiding, right? You could have been shooting so many people. You're 86%. You should have EMP by now. The fight has already begun. You should have EMP, and maybe you should keep this one so you could toss it in and actually EMP them, right? Now you're trading a little bit here. You're not really doing much still, right? The fight has started ages ago, right? These guys have been fighting for a long time, and you're still not doing anything. You're just stealthing here, not really doing much, right? Now you hack something, right? Now you took some damage. You play this wall here. That's fine. You pop stealth, right? And also because you're playing like this, you're playing very point centric, right? That means that you're stuck on low ground, and then you might need either, again, remember how the map is built. The map is built full of high grounds, so you're playing on the low ground with your translocator on the low ground, and there's high grounds all around you. That is very significant play, right? If you start thinking about every map, with a I'll just use Persona as like the thing, right? If you start thinking about every map like this, that okay, there are high grounds on some maps, and those high grounds are very valuable. For example, on this map, there's no real high ground that's like super valuable, right? It's mostly low ground fights that happen, right? It's fighting around like these areas right here that's active, and then you can maybe put some people on these high grounds over here to shoot or something, right? But it's like there's not really that many valuable high grounds. On this one, there's a very valuable high ground, which is a high ground around here, right? Because it allows you to shoot down whoever owns the point, right? Right, so then that's a decently valuable high ground. But besides that, there isn't really anything, right? Like even if you're on this high ground, they can still attack and play here, right? And yes, you can shoot at them and so on. So if a fight happens over here, then for example, as a zombie player, this might be a good high ground for you, or a Reaper, right? As it's very close to them, and you can from here you can shoot really anyone that wanna go onto directive, right? Anything outside here is controlled by this high ground, right? And anything that's on the point is controlled by this high ground, right? That allows you to fight on the point, right? Also the stairs, right? Allows you to, and by this, it just gives you access, right? And again, that is a position where you now can capitalize on opportunities. If you're here, somebody gets low on this point or in the stairs, you can easily get to them and kill them. If you are over on top of here and anybody gets low over here or over here, you can easily get to them and capitalize on that damage. Or someone's out of position or whatever, or using an ability wrong, right? And the same goes here. You're fighting on the low ground. Notice these high grounds. You can access anything from this one. Anything on this map is accessible from this high ground. Literally anything. The spawn doors, right? Anything except like here is accessible. Even these paths under are accessible from these high grounds and controlled by this high ground. You move under here, you can just shoot down on them from this high ground, and they can't really do much about it without diving up, right?
Yeah.
They want to go through here, you guys can shoot from here, from here, from here, right? As they rotate past you, right? And if they are on low grounds, you can just shoot down on them, right? This high ground is a little bit the same because you can shoot down on people on the points, right? So this gives you a little bit of access, right? So you put both your translocators on low ground, knowing the enemy team is going to push like this, meaning you know that people are going to be playing naturally over here, right? And you as a Sombra are playing down here on the point, just doing really nothing with your translocator on the point. If you had your translocator like up here, for example, right? Then you can play down here, translocate there, and go here, for example. Or if you didn't put your translocator down, then you can toss it up here if you need to get up there. And if you don't, then you can toss it somewhere else. For example, you can toss it up here to take this health back, or you can toss it over here to take that health back, right? Or you can just sprint in here and take this mega underneath, toss it up, and translocate up here, right? This thing gives you options, right? And especially if you play down with your team, you can rely a little bit more, of course, of getting healed by your team, right? So at that point, you don't always need to have it on a health pack. Does all this make sense to you?
Yeah.
Like help?
Absolutely. Yeah.
right? Now you get, that's a good hack, right? But you're on low ground, so you immediately start getting punished, right? Luckily you have someone with you, but because you're on low ground, you're very easily punished like this, right? You see how you're slowly but surely losing resources and slowly but surely taking a lot of damage, right? Oh yeah, you had a translocate on high ground. Oh. Right, so you're slowly but surely taking, right? And that's the beauty of high ground. If you'd hacked the diva on the high ground, neither her or the Moira could have done anything to damage you, really. Besides, like, taking, like, 10 health from you,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's a good point, actually.
Your SMG has a lot of range. A lot, like, far more than a Tracer SMG. So you can use it at very big ranges, right? To shoot, right? This is, like, you can shoot pretty far with that thing to deal, like, good amount of damage, especially on tanks. So you can easily stand on the high ground and just shoot down on people. On top of that, like, even if you imagine this, you unstealth almost every time you get spotted by wall hacks. It's not like it makes you less visible of going out of your stealth. It just, if you're out of stealth, if you're in stealth, at least you have faster movement speed.
Correct, yeah.
Right? So there's no real reason, right? This makes you easier to shoot because right now you're just peeking with your head into just sprinting past them in 210 kilometers an hour, right? Now they're coming, right? And imagine again, just imagine if they were trying to push down here and you were here, right? For example, right? Ignore the widow now, okay? Can they push? Very unlikely, yes, because there's not anyone stopping them, but it's much more expensive HP wise. Let's just drop in a couple of characters here. Let's drop in this and let's drop in the Moira as well. Okay, that's 3 characters, right? If you are in front of them here, you're dead. If you're up here, on the other hand, right? You can drop a hack on all of them. You can shoot down on all of them, right? You can hack her. You can hack her first, for example, if you want to, or you can hack the May or any of these so she can't ice cube and she can't fade, right? Or you can hack her so she can't go on high ground, and you can shoot down on them. And they can't push like this. They will die. They will literally die. She will have to fade off. She will have to ice cube, and she can get demacked or have to fly up and fight you. And at that point, well, she faded. She ice cubed. She's 1v1ing you now, right? And you can translocate over here and pick that up and demack her very easily because you can outplay her with range, right? Or you could just have hacked the diva and then she could never fly up to you, right? You can just, if you stay up here, you are denying this entire space by standing here, just by standing here. If anybody pushes in here, you can hack them and kill them without any doubt. There's not really anyone that can stop you. No matter what hero I drop in here, that will happen most of the times, unless they play super passive, right? And if it's like a Winston, for example, that can get to you, right? Like, say there's a Winston that comes here, he leaps, you translocate, he lands, and what now? Like, he can't kill, he's out of range, right? So you can just shoot him, must one. And he has to drop his bubble, or he has to die, or he drops down, and then you just go back, and then you just shoot down on him again, right? Do you understand how powerful this is?
Yeah,
like, they can actually not stop you. The only way that can stop you is like a Genji. Maybe, if he plays it well, right? Or if someone snipes you across the map, right? Like if they play like a Kree over here, right? Then he can zone you because now he's outranging you. But if the Kree's down here, then he loses, right? So you're denying this entire area by playing on this high ground. This area is denied. You can attack anybody that goes here. And there's nothing they can say to stop you about it if they play in that area, right? And the same goes over here, right? So you want to position yourself accordingly to that. And the same goes with your Ashe, right? If your Ashe can zone an entire, if your Ashe is like standing here, right? And if anybody pushes through main here onto the point, right? Like this, and your Ashe is here, right? You have LOS to all of them. And you can just shoot them, and you have better range than most of these people, right? So you can easily reduce them to very low health, right? Force out abilities like cryo freeze on themselves, right? And so on. And there's not much they can do really to stop you. Yeah. Right? They can dive you, they can spam you at you, right? But you have the advantage in this duel, right?
It's easy to understand all this, and it obviously makes perfect sense. I think the hardest part is not understanding it, as I said. It's more assimilating it, and while you're playing in the midst of the chaos, just to remember, oh, I need to be there, I need to do this, I need to play
but in your head, before you start a match, I want you to just like quickly, just, okay, let's, whatever map you pick, okay, let's just pick a random map. Let's say King's Row. Okay, King's Row, go. Who do you want to play? King's Row attack, go. Who do you want to play?
Ashe. Or
Okay,
somebody.
Ash. Okay,
Let's go
cool.
Ash.
Yeah, okay, Ash. Okay. You're attacking. Where are you? Where are you gonna push?
Well, usually I go
Right
from
now.
the cinema on the.
Not usually. Where are you supposed to push right now? Where are you supposed to push right now? Right. For example, okay, I want to keep distance. Where's the enemy team gonna be? Right here, most likely. Right. In gold, they're fighting here. Right. They don't play here. They play here. Right.
Yep, yep.
Yeah. Okay. So where's the enemy? The enemy is gonna play here. Okay. So I cannot play here, right? So okay, I want distance and I want line of sight. So coach gun, for example, up here. Okay, that will give me longer sight onto the entire enemy team. I can dynamite over them, and if they stay in this choke, I can just stand up here and free farm on them. Can they do anything about it? No. If they dive this far, my team will kill them, and I can just coach gun like over here, right? So I can push easily up to this balcony and just free farm them. Okay, the enemy team, what will the enemy team do? They will either die, and whoever dies or survives will fall back. Where do they fall back to? Do they fall back to here? No. Okay, so they fall back to the points. So they fall back to this area, right? Okay, so does that mean that we should push for hotel? No, not really, right? Since the enemy team is going to be on hotel area. So where do we want to push? Well, for example, we can push around statue. This will again give us line of sight. So I can push here, and then I can push here. If they play on people, if they push, do I want to push low ground as an Ash here? Well, I don't know if they have, let's say, a Reaper close, or a Winston close, or somebody that's better than me close, right? I'm not very good close compared to a lot of other heroes, right? So maybe I should push up here, right? Just to be safe. So from here, I can go down, coach gun up. This will give me full line of sight to all of this. So if the enemy team fights here, with my team, they brawl here, with their Reinhardt, Ryan. Boom, they fight here. Okay, I now have good line of sight. I can go here and I can just shoot their back. Right? They will be focusing on my team. My team will probably be pushing like that, right? Like they normally will. So they will just drag attention. That way, I have now good line of sights.
How do
Right?
you disengage from that if, let's say, 3 of your teammates die, which usually happens in gold at the choke there?
Well, then you normally play up here. You fight here. If 3 of your teammates dies, you just stay here. Right? And if you can push, you just coach, right? If they start falling back and your team start pushing, okay, then you can continue to follow with them until the enemy is out of this area, right? So you can start pushing here, whatever. If your team dies, up here, fight here, down here, coach gun up here, and back to your same stop position, right?
Okay.
Or just try to pull on Hail Mary and go over here and just try to see if you can hit all the shots, right? A lot of time it's not about disengaging at that point. If the fight is lost and you are already committed to a heavy position like this, very deep inside enemy territory, right? The enemy team was supposed to be like the back here, right? And remember, if the enemy team is back here, you're not here anymore. Then you're here, right? If the enemy team fights here, then you fight here. Because going here can be suicide. Then you fight here, or down here with your team, right? Or something like that, right? So you're fighting with your team. But if the enemy team goes further back, like here, this can be used, but a lot of time we, for example, want to go here, right? Because now I'm more active and I can dynamite this area, right? So pushing constantly, right? And then I can push here and so on. If you lose here, for example, and you are already rotated, and you're like, okay, there's no way I'm getting out. Then you look for a tank, like a D.Va. D.Vas are easy, big targets. And then you build Bob of her. So you just fucking headshot her, dynamite everything, you fucking rush her, and die quickly. No need to stagger, right? If you're 100% sure the fight is lost, there's no way we're comebacking from this. Then you just suicide on them, and you build as much ult charge as possible. If you were defending, then you jump down on the point and build as much ult charge of them, and restart with your team, right? Then you just wipe with your team, but you make sure that you get as much value out of that death, right?
Yeah,
So stall the objective. For example, if it's a payload map, die on the point so they can't push it, right? Fight on the point so they can't push it. That way you're buying time off it, the clock, and shoot the tanks if possible, so that you can make sure that you build Bob, right? It's the same strategy for all heroes at that point. Just die on the point if you know that there's no way you're getting out of this. Instead of trying to get out and stagger, right?
Yeah.
Right? And this is how you do it. So you just make up an idea. How do I play this? Okay, and then you just tell yourself a plan. Where are they normally going to be? Where are they going to start? They're going to start at that position. How do I play Ashe against people in that position? High grounds, good angles. If they fall back, I do this. If they push, I can do this. If they go that side, I can do this, right? So if there are multiple options, some teams will go, for example, on Anubis, some people will go straight and some people will go left. I don't know if that's what happens in gold. That's what happens in GM and in Diamond and in Plat and in Masters, right? Then some teams go straight, some people goes here, right? So at that point, you gotta have a plan for both, right? If somebody goes strafe, okay, for example, here. Okay, if they go strafe, nice line of sight. If they go here, maybe I'll rotate to here. I have cover with the pillar. I'm close to my retreat route, which is that way, right? And I have good angles onto the enemy team. My team is here, right? So they will be shielding like that versus my shield. I have good line of sight. I can dynamite from here, right? So now I have my safety. If they are playing main, I can play here. I can shoot. I can damage. I can fall back if I need to. And even coach gun up here, right? Or go here and try to coach gun up here, right? That way I make a plan. The same as an attacker. Okay, the enemy team is setting up. I want to keep my distance, so I will maybe playing here. Maybe I'll play here, right? I might be positioning myself down here. If I'm Sombra, I will do different rotations. So that way you make a plan. How am I going to push this, right? How are they defending? How should I play this hero effectively against how they are defending or attacking, right? With your options, what happens after? And then you do that every single time. If you die and wipe, you run that again in your head. What are you doing now? How is the enemy team gonna play? What ultimates do they have? Do they have Shatter? Yes. Maybe you should not stand behind the Ryan shield then, because he's not gonna block it. That is smart. Let's not stand behind the Ryan shield, right? Especially if you have an ultimate that can stop Shatter. For example, Bob, right? You can Bob so that they can't push the Shatter, right? So then you want to position yourself accordingly. Do you have an ultimate that's of value? Do you have EMP? Then you got to play differently, right? Because then you need to be able to get in and EMP everybody, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
So that's a really good way to make sure that you always think during your matches, that you tell yourself the plan. I like to talk to, if I have to do it, when I play on Faker is my account that I use all those, that I just play for the YouTube videos for you guys.
Yep.
I explain to myself how I would explain to everybody else. If someone else was watching and asking, how can I play your hero in your rank? Why are you playing like you're playing it? So then I'm talking to myself. And of course, not literally speaking out. I'm thinking like, okay, I'll play over here, over there to play like that. If they go there, I can do this. If they go there, I can do this. Okay, that's approximately the game plan. And then, of course, we